so the equation is here. That used to determine caloric needs. Total energy expenditure, basal energy expenditure. Basal energy expenditure means you in the basic, like you lay down on the bed, you don't running. If you running, that is not BEE. You don't use BEE, right? If you're really sick, you do not use BEE. You use TEE. TEE have the activity factors and the stress factors. Okay, so back to this question. He weight is 174 pounds and 5 feet 10 inches. Activity factor is 1.2. And what we need to calculate, we need to calculate the BEE. And you use this BEE calculation. Okay, so in the NAPLAX question, they all the time give you stress factor, give you activity factor. Sometimes you need to carefully read the question, what they ask. They ask TEE or they ask BEE. Sometimes they ask BEE, but they give you factors. When you're in the test, you are nervous, right? And then you just want to use all the factors they give to you. But they only ask BEE, you don't need to use these factors, right? Okay, here is the calculation. And then here's the number getting in. And here is the results. So from this calculation, you didn't see any, you didn't see 1.2, right? You didn't see distress factor. That is just distress you. So keep this in mind when you take a test. First confirm what question asked, okay? Okay, so protein, I already gave you a number. And which team I haven't? Team 3, do I ask Team 3 answer questions?
Yes.
No, not yet.
No.
Team 12? Okay. Okay, Team 12. Can you tell me the numbers that I asked you remember about protein? In the table, I wrote amino acid. Amino acid AA abbreviation is AA. It's actually representing protein. What's number? How many kcal per gram? How many? 4. Thank you. Very good.
4,000 calories.
Okay. So this question is asked how many calories of protein patient will receive. And for this question, first step, you have to calculate how many gram protein, right? And then you calculate how many calories protein provided for patients. It's 2 steps, okay? And okay, so for this one, nitrogen balance, nitrogen intake equal gram of protein divided by 6.25. So these concepts actually mainly used in NAPLAX exams. In reality, in the hospital, pharmacists not calculate this. So, but I put this here because in the future you will go to take NAPLAX, right? So I just let you guys keep in mind. It's very simple. Just put the numbers in the formula, and then you get it. I will give you guys slides the time-wise. I just go over quickly. So this question is ask you non-protein calorie to nitrogen ratio for these patients. You just use the previous that formula, okay? And you calculate how many grams of nitrogen, and then the question asks you calculate non-protein calorie. What is calorie from non-protein? From what components?
素
Timothy,
素
from what components?
Fat is
Fat is 3 times.
I'm ask this question. Ask you calculate non-protein
This one,
calories
compound
to nitrogen ratio for these patients. So non-protein calorie. Non-protein calorie from what components? Macro components. Yes, and yes. Okay. So for this question, you can calculate like you use the previous that formula, and then you calculate to the nitrogen, and then calculate how many gram dextrose. And then from how many gram dextrose, I ask you memorize dextrose how per gram, how many kcal, right? This is 3.4. This number you're already very familiar, I think. And then you can calculate how many kcal from non-protein components.
What does that mean?
This is amino acid, actually it's a protein calculation. So for this one, this is products, aminosin. From name, you know that is for protein, right? And then it's they give you percentage. And the question is ask how many milliliter will be needed to provide 108 gram protein. So this is just a percentage gives. What is this percentage mean? It's 100 milliliter. In 100 milliliter, aminosin contain 8.5 gram protein aminosin, right? And then you have 108 gram protein, and then you 100 put on the top, 8.5 put on the bottom times 108. Then you got milliliter, right? So here is the calculation for you. Okay, so next one is very easy. Similar as you get the milliliter, and then you have a percentage, and then you can get the milliliter. And this question, CMC, even though it's not protein, it's carbohydrates. We know in PN, carbohydrates means dextrose, right? So dextrose come from different percentage. In this question, it's 50%. So they ask how many milliliter are required to fulfill PN order for 405 gram of dextrose. Then this is a calculation. You set the equation, right?
Brooke?
The left side is what they give you. Right side is what you know and what you don't know. And then there are 4 factors. If you know 3 of them, you can calculate 1 of them, right? Okay, this is a patient case question, but still ask you calculate how many calories. It's how many calories from dextrose.
When you look at it, you don't know what
One thing I have to mention, when you look at the calculation question, you have to look at the ends, what they ask. For example, this question asks you rounded to nearest whole number. that means on your answer, no decimal, right? Sometimes they ask you rounded 1 decimal, 2 decimal, something like that. You need to be careful those things. So in the NAPLAX, lots of these requirements. If everything you did, steps all right, but at the end you didn't run, you didn't get points, right? So keep this in mind. And the FAT, same thing. It's either they give you percentage, either they give you grams, and ask you calculation how many calories. So it's not that hard. This same thing. Okay, so now this one, even though it's multiple choices question, actually it's calculation. This, if in the exam, a question like this actually is easy because when you calculate, you have choice to choose. You know if you are right or not, right? So for this one, because I really want you guys to do some practice. And the right answer is D. When I give you the slides on the notes, I have how to calculate those questions. You can read that. This same thing is those multiple choice question is a combination of macro components. Either ask you total calories, either give you total calorie, ask you what percentage protein provide calorie to patients, or percentage dextro, something like that. So if you practice a few questions, you will become very easy for you. And this is the last one, I think. This is the last one. Okay. So the last 3 questions is from one case. I already have the calculation under the notes. So when you get to the slides, you can read that. Okay. Other things you need to add it to your PN for patients is the multiple vitamin and trace elements and insulin. On the lab day, you will do the process of order. You ask the pharmacist to order a PN formula for initiate a patient's TPN. You will very familiar with those things. Any questions? No? Okay, so thank you. This calculation slides, I just go over like that. And I have individual practice questions. So each one get one. Can you help me? Yeah, and you help me. Okay.